ones where you just eat way too much. Your eyes are too big for your belly. I already done talks about this. But true say, you don't really get opportunities. When there's good food in front of you, there's a feast that's been especially prepared for you. To turn that down, I think you would have to be no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I made myself laugh, bro. Hey, let me talk my shit, man. And listen, you know the ones where you just eat too much and your belly's just bloated. Like it's an uncomfortable bloating as well. But it's like you can feel yourself getting a bit more full up as you eat, but you carry on eating. And you know what? I thought this was a phenomenon restricted to like carbs and but actually the thing is with carbs, when you eat carbs and eat sugars, they're the ultra processed stuff, it's literally already been processed, right? So it's already been digested and broken up. And so that doesn't make you feel bloated. That doesn't make you feel full. It doesn't release that the satiety hormone, leptin. I think that's what it's called, right? You got ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and leptin, the satiety hormone, right? You get that GLP-1, you know what I'm saying, singing in the background, saying, yeah, you're full, you're done. Do you know what I'm saying? But that don't happen when you eat carbs, when you eat sweets. You can eat so much, you can eat 10 bags of sweets in a sitting and you won't even get full because it's just straight sugar. All it's doing is spiking your glucose, right? Spiking your glucose and there's nothing to be processed. So your body's like, there's nothing here. There's no nutrients. What we doing? This is not helpful. But with fats, like healthy fats and stuff like that, you get full relatively quickly. But I surprised myself yesterday, like family, you know what I'm saying? It was a family function. We had a feast in front of us. And I was worried. I was like, if there's carbs there, I'm gonna be very restricted. But there was a range of meats. And I went to work. I went to work. I'm not gonna lie to you, I went to work. And I don't regret it. I'll be honest, I don't regret it. It's been a while since I've eaten a lot of food and just, had that bloated feeling where you just sit back and you think, that was something. Like, but the problem is with with doing that, the problem that I faced was that let's say it was about 1,000, 2,000 calories more than I would usually eat. And I went to bed like 3 hours after that. So normally I'll go to sleep, I'll wake up, I'll be a bit hot, I'll be a bit flushed maybe. I was talking about the red flushes and this and that and this and that. But last night I woke up, I was drenched in sweat like multiple times. And of course this is to do with the fact that it was the sheer amount of food. For me to stay asleep, my body needs to cool me down because of the heat that's generated from thermogenesis, right? And the more food it is that's being processed, I'm going to bed at the peak time that my digestion is underway. I'm going to bed at the peak time when my body's really just at its peak, ramping up the digestion process. You know what I'm saying? It's generating all that heat. It's doing a whole lot of work right now, but I'm trying to sleep. And of course, for me to stay asleep, I need to stay cool because my body temperature needs to drop, right? My body needs temperature needs to stay low. And so I woke up multiple times just drenched in sweat. I'm like, rah. This happened to me before when I've like had like eaten like large amounts of sugar during the day or maybe before bed. But I think that's to do with another mechanism. It's to do with the fact that you're spiking insulin. And so when you spike insulin, you your blood glucose also spikes, right? But because of the spike in insulin, your blood glucose then drops below baseline, right? And then once once that is detected, once your glucose levels drop below baseline, your body releases adrenaline and cortisol to then mobilize more glucose from your liver glycogen. So you maintain your blood glucose level, right? And so when you release a lot of cortisol and adrenaline, you're gonna get that sweat, you're gonna get that rush. And that's the thing that happens at night when you eat too much sugar before bed, right? When you use too much sugar during the day, you're gonna get these spikes and crashes, right? But clearly similar, you can get similar symptoms from a different mechanism by way of which you've just eaten way too much and you've gone to sleep at the wrong time. But it was interesting. It was interesting. I honestly thought I lost the ability to sweat. Like I didn't know I could I didn't know I could sweat. I haven't sweated. I haven't properly sweated since I started keto, I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure I haven't properly sweated since I started keto. And so me waking up, find myself drenched in sweat was kind of relieving. I was like, oh, okay, I still got that. I still got that mechanism. I still can sweat if I actually need to. So now that doubly confirms the fact that when I get these hot flushes, it's not my ability. It's not my body's saying. It's not my body's. It's not an indication of my body's inability to sweat. It's simply a neuronal symptom and not something where my body's failed me, right? Because when it feels like it's bare hot, it's feeling like this needs to cool down. Like, why are you sweating? But clearly, if my body needed to sweat, I can trust in the fact that it would sweat. So I guess would you call it reassuring? But I was already reassured. I already said all I need to do is survive. All I need to do is survive. I need to survive 9 more days. Ramadan's over in 9 more days. I just need to survive. This is I got like 5 hours sleep. And I was worried I would have kicked myself out of ketosis yesterday because of the amount I ate. Like there was chicken, there was ackee saltfish, and all these things they're bordering on the borderline of like 1 to 2 grams of carbs per like serving or whatnot. But when I woke up today, my brain was stable. I was tired. Like I felt like a slow dip by 12 p.m. Went for a walk, revived. You know what I'm saying? There's a little lapses in concentration here and there, but for considering the fact that I got maybe 5 hours, I think just under 6 hours, some 5 to 6 hours. Considering that I got that amount of sleep and my brain was still stable, it was still sharp, it was still functional. It wasn't operating at 10 times speed. It wasn't operating at nothing crazy, right? But it was sharp and stable. And considering the conditions, I can safely assume that I'm safely still in ketosis. Right. I'm still here. I'm still here, and it's gotten to a level where it's able to sustain me. Because when you get lack of sleep, everything degrades. Your ability to produce ketones degrades. You use more energy. You have more cravings. To be fair, I woke up, I had cravings. I was craving, but it wasn't even food. I just wanted snooze. I just wanted snooze. I was so tempted, but I know that I need to go to sleep, right? I need to go to sleep, and doing snooze is borrowing energy from the future, and the crash is gonna hit me. And I think I just have too much life experience now with these sorts of chemicals to understand that it's never a good idea. Just and especially that craving is just a result of my dopamine levels being below baseline, probably because of the fact that it spiked when I was eating all that food yesterday, and because I got little sleep, it hasn't really replenished. So I know I think I've actually come to an understanding and a level of discipline where I can just notice these things. I can notice these cravings, these urges, and just label them. That's a very powerful tool, just labeling. Like, why is it that I feel this way? Oh, because of this, this, and this. So it's because of this, because my dopamine levels have dropped, and because of the these are the consequences of what happened yesterday and my night's sleep. This is why I feel this way. And now, if I am to actually go ahead with this urge, what is going to be the consequence of this? And I think a lot of people, they lie to themselves about like the consequences of what it is that they're going to do. They'll brush it aside. They won't be real with themselves. They won't be true, right? They have no I was gonna say they have no integrity. I'm not trying to attack nobody, right? Because dopamine is one hell of a drug, right? It will come up with all sorts of tricks and excuses. But if you really just sit there and think about what it is that you're doing and what it is that might result of it, instead of just hand waving it and saying, no, it's fine, right? when you do these sorts of short-term behaviors, your horizon decreases. When you're in the throes of an addiction, you like neurologically, you can't think long term. I'm struggling like a way to frame it. You actually lose your ability to think as long term as you would normally would if you wasn't in an addiction, right? And so it's just about thinking through what it is that you're actually doing on a day-to-day basis, but not so much that you become trapped by analysis. I was watching a video earlier on, and it was talking about how the observer and the actor are not the same people, right? If we exist in a quantum superposition, bear with me here. If we exist in a quantum superposition and we are observing ourselves, we become distinct, right? And so the observer is not the observed. And when you observe yourself, that is not you fundamentally. When you are acting and you're not thinking, that is different from when you act and then you observe yourself think. That's a different person entirely. And it's a strange thing to kind of wrap your head around. But there is an element of truth to that. When you're in the flow of conversation, when you're being real, when you're interacting, it's coming straight from here. It's coming straight from it's an expression, authentic expression of who you are. But when you start to analyze yourself as you're speaking, you think, oh, why did I say that? I wonder if she thinks this. I wonder if he thinks that. Then you've kind of made yourself distinct from who it is that you actually are. And you're now viewing yourself you're now analyzing the situation from a third person perspective. So that's not truly you. You've separated it now. And that person that's observing can be very, very, I want to say, not, can be very unhelpful. That's the word. Can be very unhelpful. Like it's good to have a level of self awareness, but too much of a level of self awareness can be damaging, and no level of self awareness. I guess I don't know. I'm not gonna be here and sit and say you need to have a level of self awareness such that I'm not gonna sit here and say that you need a higher level of self awareness, but it would be helpful. It would be beneficial, and it would stop you from falling into those same patterns, falling victim to the same urges and tricks that people be. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say, man. I'm need to go to sleep anyway. I need to go to sleep, but yeah, stable energy, all good, consistent. I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of losing it. If I got a cold inside, I'm cold. But yeah, yeah. Yeah. You know, ones where you just like just doing some random shit for no reason. Life is just I don't even know what to tell you guys, man. This is just me most of the time. This is how I am. I just sit here and think like, especially after dinner, like I'll just sit here and think like, life, bro, life.